Welcome back to the deep dive. So, we've got a fascinating one today. It's this high stakes late season NFL matchup between the Kansas City Chiefs and the Denver Broncos.
Yeah,
And our mission here is to really get under the skin of this one, to unpack the tension and a pretty wild statistical contradiction that makes this a must-watch game.
exactly.
Hmm.
This is really an exercise in reading between the lines of the raw numbers. I mean, it's week 17, it's Christmas Day, and for one of these teams, this game it's absolutely everything.
And the setting is just perfect for the drama, right?
Yeah.
The game's today, kicking off late, 8:15 p.m. Eastern, and it's at Arrowhead Stadium.
The Chiefs' own house. It's a prime-time, high-pressure holiday spectacle. You can't ask for more.
You really can't.
But the tension here, comes from this incredibly stark difference in how these two teams have gotten to this point.
Okay, let's unpack that. This tale of two seasons. Because when you put the Broncos and the Chiefs side by side for this Christmas showdown, the contrast as well, it's jarring.
It really is.
You've got absolute consistency on one side, squaring off against a whole season of just chaos.
Yeah, let's start with Denver, because you have to appreciate the excellence they've shown this year. Their campaign has been just remarkably consistent.
Hmm.
They roll into Arrowhead with an outstanding record. 12 wins and only 3 defeats.
Yeah.
That's the mark of a real contender.
That's an 80% success rate. I mean, this late in the season, that puts them in the conversation for a first-round bye, maybe home field advantage.
For sure. They're sitting firmly in the second spot in the AFC right now.
Yeah.
And if you look at how they did it, it really speaks to balance. They've put up 362 points.
Which is a solid number.
A very solid number. But they've paired that with a great defense to only giving up 295 points.
Yeah.
And that combination, high scoring, low points against, that's a championship profile.
That's a team built for January, no question. Now,
Yeah.
let's switch the lens over to the home team, the Kansas City Chiefs. And this is where the story gets so complicated.
It really is. Where Denver has been a rock, Kansas City has been on a complete roller coaster.
The numbers are pretty brutal. What are they sitting at?
6 wins and 9 losses, a 40% success rate.
Yeah.
It's just a totally different world from where Denver is.
A massive gap. 6 wins versus 12. And that puts the Chiefs way down in the standings. I think they're 10th in the AFC right now.
Yeah. And for a franchise with the expectations they have in Kansas City, being 10th seed and just fighting to stay mathematically alive, that's a catastrophic underperformance.
And the timing couldn't be worse, right? I mean, coming into this huge rivalry game, what's their recent record?
That's the thing. They're coming in on the back of a 4-game losing streak,
Yeah.
a 4-game skid in December, when the stakes are the highest. That points to something more than just a struggle that's maybe a structural failure to execute. They are playing for their lives tonight.
A total failure to close out games. But this is where our deep dive pivots. This is where we hit that statistical curveball that sort of turns this whole narrative on its head.
This is the nugget that you really have to pay attention to. If you look closely at the defense of the Kansas City Chiefs, the source tells us the number of points they've suffered this season is 294.
Okay, hold on. Let's put that in context. We just said the Denver Broncos, the 12-3 team, the consistent one, they've suffered 295 points.
That's it.
Yeah.
That's the stunning contradiction. The Chiefs' defense has given up practically the same number of points as their 12-win rival.
1 point difference.
1 point. So when you see that number, 294, you realize the Chiefs' defense isn't just competitive, it's statistically elite. It completely dismantles any idea that this 6-9 record is because of the defense.
How is that even possible? How can a defense performing at that high a level be attached to a team on a 4-game losing streak? If the defense is doing its job, the problem has to be somewhere else.
It absolutely has to be. The core challenge here isn't stopping the other team. It's the inability to translate that great defensive play into wins.
So if you're trying to figure out the cause here, the only logical explanation for that kind of record disparity is just a catastrophic failure on offense.
Okay.
Special teams.
That's the only way the math works.
Yeah.
If your defense only gives up 294 points, putting you right beside a conference leader, but you still have 9 losses,
Yeah.
it suggests your offense is either severely unproductive or worse, they're turning the ball over constantly.
Right. Putting that great defense in impossible situations over and over again.
Exactly. And the source mentions the Chiefs have really struggled on the road. Now, this game's at Arrowhead, but that pattern of failing to close out tight games is key. It points to a team that just lacks that clutch gene on
Because
offense.
think about the psychology of that. You're a defensive player, you know you're playing at an elite level, holding teams to 20 points or less,
Hmm.
and you look up at the scoreboard and the offense just can't get it done. Again, that's got to be soul-crushing.
It's the definition of a structural breakdown.
Right.
They're losing games that, statistically, they have no business losing.
So the story isn't that the Chiefs are a bad team. The story is that the Chiefs are a broken team, an elite defense tied to an offense that can't score or protect the football.
And that leads us perfectly into the stakes. Now that we get the context, we can see why this Christmas Day game is so determinant.
Right. So for the Broncos, a win here it's about cementing their status.
Precisely. A win means they stay firmly among the top contenders in the AFC. It solidifies their seeding, keeps the momentum going. Every win now makes that first round bye more likely, which is just invaluable.
And for the Chiefs, the stakes couldn't be more different. It's just desperation. It's survival.
Absolutely. This is their last, best chance to keep their playoff hopes alive.
Yeah.
At 6-9, the math is grim. Another loss, especially to a division rival like this, and it's over. The season is done.
They have to win. They just have to.
They must win to have even a slim chance of climbing out of that 10th spot. It's do or die.
It's incredible. One team is playing for dominance. The other is playing just to buy one more week of hope. All happening at home with this great defense that they just haven't been able to leverage.
And you can't overlook that mental weight we talked about. Coming off 4 straight losses, knowing you should have won some of those games. To break that streak, they have to overcome the Broncos and their own failures.
Yeah, what it boils down to is a contest between a complete team and a team that's only good on one side of the ball. And despite having a defense that's statistically just as good, they're on the verge of elimination.
It's a massive failure in synergy. That's what the 294 points suffered tells you. You can't lose 4 straight with a defense that good unless the offense is actively losing the game for you.
Which sets up maybe the most intriguing Christmas matchup we could have asked for. It's consistency versus desperation.
And that's why we do this. The surface level record tells one story. A blowout? Maybe. But the underlying numbers, 294 points versus 295, they reveal a much richer and frankly more dramatic tension.
Absolutely. So we've boiled it down. It's the ultimate late-season clash between a 12-3 contender and a struggling 6-9 team trying to make their elite defense finally count for something.
Which brings us to a final provocative thought for you to chew on as you watch this game. Given that the Chiefs' defense is just as good as the Broncos, statistically, what specific area of offensive failure is the most likely single driver of their 4-game losing streak?
Right. It's not just the offense is bad.
No, get specific. You have to consider which part of the offense is most likely to completely negate an elite defensive performance. Is it red zone failures, turnovers in their own territory? What is it?
Something to think about as you settle in for kickoff. Thanks for joining us for the deep dive. We hope this gives you a fresh perspective on what should be a fantastic rivalry game. We'll catch you next time.